What's going on, guys? Ryan here, and today we're going to be working on the laundry room renovation. And I didn't say bathroom because today we're going to be doing some installation of some lights. Now, you may be wondering, why are you doing the lights? Are you done with the drywall? Not really. However, I don't think I'm going to be doing the laundry room for at least probably another few months. I'm going to be working primarily on the bathroom, trying to get this set up and ready to go, so then we can take out the old bathroom so I can finish the closet. The laundry room is going to take a little bit more time because there's two outlets on this wall that goes to the other room and one for this room. And this room hasn't actually gotten all the electrical done yet, so I can't close the walls. And that also means I can't put the washer and dryer in place until I have everything good to go. I still have the water supply lines to do, and that is kind of what's preventing me from moving the washer and dryer and putting it in place, but also trying to connect the washer and the dryer up to the electrical. So, and there's a whole other bunch of reasons why I can't finish this room or even put the flooring in, because I have to get down underneath the house, and this is where I go and do it. And then I also have to replace this piece of subfloor, and that also means I have to deal with the water heater, and I don't want to do that right now. And you might be wondering, well, are you going to be waiting until the spring to do the supply lines? I don't really want to. I want to try to get them done as quick as possible, but the springtime probably in the next few weeks, because it's going to be warming up. It's already going to be February, and I know February is still cold, but I think even with stuff going on, I could be doing other things. I think I can also focus on this. It's not going to be too cold to be underneath the house. I know it's going to be cold. I know I'm going to be dealing with water, but I'm not going to be dealing with freezing temperatures. So if the lowest temp it's going to be overnight is higher than freezing, I'm good to go. I can not have all the supply lines with installation, because one of the problems I've realized when I was ordering a bunch of stuff a couple days ago for all of this supply line stuff project is that not all the pipes can have insulation on it because they don't have all the insulation at the store. But why are we talking about supply lines and running them when I'm not doing them in this episode? I'm doing the lights. I'm doing the lights in this room. There used to be a light right there, and we took it out because it was in the way of the drywall. And then we're going to actually add another light right here. And then we're going to have a switch by this door and by this door. And in order to do both of that, both the lights and the switches, I had to rewire it anyways. And it's already wired up and ready to go. I just need to connect the wires together and then put the fixtures in place. And then what do you know? We have lights in this room. Because at night, and in the morning, which is where we have the dog food and where we do our laundry at, it's really, really dark in here. So dark, the only light that we see is the light from the shop, from the security light, and then the light coming through this hole and that hole. But that's not enough light. It's still really dark in here. With that being said, let me just show you what the lights, the light fixtures I'm going to install are, because I realized that I haven't done that yet, and I was talking about several different things. So I'm just really excited about this, because these are the lights. We're doing the Hampton Bay Boswell Quarter 12-inch 2-light flush mount light fixture. And we have two of them here. One, like I said, is going to go right there, and one is going to go right above my head right there. And that should be enough light for this whole space. It might be a little too much in this area, but my dad and I decided to put it right there. It should be good enough for the door and right here in this spot. And then this light should be able to do the rest of the work. And because this door is going to eventually go into our garage, we wanted to make sure when you walk in, you could turn on the light in here. And then when you walk out of the laundry room, you can also turn it back off. And that means a 3-way switch with 2 lights. And I looked up, there's several different ways you can wire lights and 3-way switches all together. But I decided to do it. Basically, there's 2 wires that run from each light going to the other light, and then one to one switch in the light and one other light to the other switch. And this switch in the bathroom is where we get the power. And it's not actually direct power from the box to one of these light switches. This switch over here actually gets its power from a different light switch, the bathroom light switch. So when I connect it to the box, I would have to connect the hall switch this one to the hall, which is the power, and then I have to connect this one, which is from the actual electrical panel. Connect these two together, and then we got power to that box over there. Put the light switches in, put the light fixtures in, hook it up to the box, and it should work. And that was a lot of talking. I think I'm actually going to put the battery back on the charger because I didn't think it finished. And I'm going to kind of maybe step in a few times, maybe after every step, or if I come to a roadblock. But I have a bunch of stuff out in the shop that I need to grab as supplies, and also one of the very first things I have to do is take some of this popcorn off the ceiling, and all you do to do that is just spray it with some water, let it soak for a little bit, and then scrape it off with like a putty knife or with a like trowel or some sort of flat metal thing. And then I think I might hook up the light fixtures and actually install them in the ceiling, and then I can go and get the light switches and then install those. And then once I install that and install this, connect these two together, I should be good to go. And then all I need to do is move the dryer, which is a pain in the butt, and I might not have to move it. I might just work around it, and then I have to turn off the power for the whole house. That'll allow me to work in the electrical panel, and it's pretty simple. You just connect it to the breaker and then connect it to the other things, and then put it in, turn on the breaker, the whole house, and then it should work. So let's jump right into it. So I've been at this for about an hour and a half now, and I didn't do the removal of the popcorn on the ceiling here. I decided to do other things first, and one of the issues I figured out right off the bat was the light fixture. It has this little, I don't know what you call this, maybe you can call it a bracket. Basically you hook this up in the circle box up there, and then this hooks to the light fixture. This to me should come with the every little bit that you need to connect it to the box in the ceiling. Well, it doesn't. But I found some in the shop that should work, that were for metal junction boxes, and I kind of tested with one, like a plastic one, out in the shop, and they work. And I have 5 of them, and I really only need 2 for each, so I'm good to go. I brought all 5 of them in case one falls and it goes somewhere. But either way, I did get other stuff done. So I went out in the shop and got those screws, and I came in and I started to look at the instructions on maybe the wiring and figuring out how to wire everything up. And I thought, let's just do the switches. So I got this switch wired up and this switch wired up, and then I came in here. Remember, the power comes into this box that does the other switches here, but this one is the power from the box, and this one goes to the switch in the hallway, which is that one. And all I did was I just did Wago connectors, and then I electrical taped the connectors, and then I electrical taped all of them together, so nothing should come loose and nothing should come out. Well, then after that, I started trying to wire this light up, but I haven't started doing it completely. I just got it figured out, and I'm going to take a quick break, and then after that is done, I'm going to put the light fixture up, wire it together, and then I'm going to go over here and then mess with this one, which is the popcorn ceiling that I have to scrape off. And I'm not really excited about that. That's actually kind of why I didn't do it in the first place, but I'm going to, I need to, and I will. Back from my break, and I've been working on this for about half an hour now. I finally got this all wired up and ready to go. Basically, you have certain wires connected together which would connect to the actual fixture. Then you have other wires connected to another wire which is connected to that light over there, and then it would be attached to that light or that light switch, and then this light switch. So basically I got it all figured out. It should be good to go. But the problem now is that in order for me to hook it all up, I need someone or something else to hold up the light fixture so that I can attach the wires together. And I can't do that by myself. I mean, I can on this one, But I'd rather take the time that it would take for me to make like a little ledge for the fixture to sit on and potentially fall. I would rather wait for Ellie to help me with that, so it's not going to be a surprise, really. But I'd rather wait for her to help me with that, and then I can take the time that it would take for me to put all that together and work on this one, which I still have to do the popcorn around it. So I'm gonna do this one now. I'm gonna get that one ready, and then hopefully when Ellie does come home tonight, she can help me real quick. Shouldn't take more than half an hour to just put the wires together, put it up there, and whatever. So it is the next day. We did do a few things last night. I had Ellie help me install these, and then put the lights in myself. And I actually think they look fine with the bulbs that I have. The bulbs that I bought are still coming in, so they're not here yet. They're gonna be here in like a week. And I was like, I'm gonna try to get this done in the next couple days. So I want some light bulbs, and they're just the Fiat Electric 100 watt replacement or equivalent bulbs. They're just LEDs. They're nice. I like them. We got them from Costco a while ago, and there's only been like one or two, maybe three light bulbs overall that I've purchased that were broken or didn't last that long. So I really like these bulbs a lot. Anyways, so we did that last night, and I decided that today I was going to go through the electrical panel and figure out which breakers go where, because the panel, it was labeled and relabeled with just Sharpie. So things were crossed out, and I couldn't read all of it, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. And there was a lot of spares, a lot of empty breakers. So I was like, what the heck? So I had asked Ellie to bring home her label maker that we bought for her classroom, and I've been labeling the breaker panel. I'm not done yet, obviously, but we got the main, and then we have like the outlets and then lights down here. I took some acetone, some just nail polish remover, which is just acetone, and took some cotton balls and just rubbed it down. I can still read most of it. I actually have a picture of what it used to look like at least a while ago, and it's pretty much stayed the same, so it's not that big of a deal. Definitely take a picture of stuff before you erase it or ruin it or whatever. The other thing is, this morning, while I was kind of doing that, I was trying to see how it would be possible for me to add these lights to the breaker panel, which I am capable of doing. It's just the panel actually has a lot of wires, just all shoved in there, especially near that bus bar, and I can't move anything without turning everything off. So then I thought, well, let me just figure out which breaker, like which wires go to which breaker and which breaker goes to which like room or what they're for. And then I thought, okay, I'll do that, but maybe I won't do it. I won't like take it apart today, but I will try to get all the breakers, like all the things located, so I know which breakers affect which rooms. Because even right now, even before I erased them, it was hard to tell like which breaker goes to which room, even though it's labeled. Because one of them would be labeled like kitchen, and it would turn off other things other than just the kitchen. So I would like to label it properly, and I would like to do that before she goes back to school, because she's going to take this, and I will need her help trying to figure out which one's which. Secondly, I might go ahead and like clear up some space in here when she's at work, so that I don't have to have the whole house shut off and she is busy doing something, you know. Some other things were happening today, and I decided that we were going to go up to Yakima to get some stuff from Home Depot. And I thought, okay, I am done with using this weird system I have for the dryer, because I thought if I free up some space, I might as well hook up the dryer, so then I can have the old dryer, like the wire for the old dryer, like the old wire for the dryer, to take it out or just move it out of the way, because the way I have it hooked up is literally like this. Like this is the outlet for the dryer, literally just hanging off of the freaking ground wire. Obviously, you're not supposed to have it like that, and obviously, it wasn't like that to begin with. But because the dryer was originally where this is, I had to make some adjustments. And so one of the adjustments is just hook it up properly. Even though it's exposed, it's fine as long as I don't touch it, and nothing's touched it. So what we did is I went and got some stuff for the dryer, because this whole time I've just been dealing with like probably a 4 foot, maybe actually like a 4 foot piece of flexible dryer duct, and it's been a really tough, like, the dryer's just all like, just, it's not right next to the washer, it's like slanted and just at a terrible angle. So I went up, got a outlet box, got the actual outlet, I got the faceplate, and I got just a couple of these for the wire to go into. And then I have a new duct, which is the semi-rigid duct, which I kind of wish I got the other one just so it's a lot easier, but mainly because I don't know if I'm going to hook it up right now to the right position. I want to really do that because we need to do laundry. And of course, I want to do all this stuff, and I just keep adding more and more to my plate when I'm like, the simplest job was just to put it in and hook it up. But because there's so much crap in the electrical panel, and not even that, but wires that aren't even hooked up, they're just sitting in there. And I tested a few of them to see if they're the wires that I think they are, but they're not. So I'm like, where are these wires coming from? Like, what are they? But regardless, I'm going to do some work in here. I don't know if I'm going to have these working today, but I do want to at least get the dryer, maybe not hooked up, but like at least the wire connected, the box, and all that just placed in the right spot. I want to do that today. And I mean, that's not even what I was supposed to be doing for this video. I was supposed to be doing these. So I don't know. Seems like I do that for everything. Just one job turns into another, and then I can't do the first job until I do the last job. So, great. So it's the next day. I think from the last clip, it's the next day. And a lot has happened in the past like 24 to 48 hours. I took some time and I wired up the dryer, and I even put in the new duct for the dryer vent. And the reason why, at the very beginning of this video, I said I didn't want to move the dryer and I wasn't going to change anything about the washer and dryer setup. However, because I'm taking this time to open the panel and to add a wire, and then I thought, okay, I have to organize it because the amount of wires that are just like just thrown in there is just insane to me, and I can't have so many wires going into it and then several other wires just in there wasting space that don't need to be in there. So I am taking the time to do it and doing it right so I don't have to do it again. So one of the things I did a long time ago is I got a new dryer plug. The wire coming off of the dryer used to be this 3-prong, basically without a ground. This is what it was. And there's supposed to be a 4-prong wire, and this wasn't, so then I bought one a while ago and I just never changed it because you need to have a new plug, a new outlet. And I did that the other day. I got a new box, a plug. I think I showed you what I got. So I hooked it all up, and this is what it looks like. There's the new box with the outlet and plug, and then there is the dryer vent all hooked up, ready to go. I did end up using the original duct, the flexible duct, and then just the vent. The old vent is still right there, just plugged up so no cold air comes in. And I decided not to use this rigid one or this semi-rigid one because it's too rigid. And I feel like most of the time these are used in like attic spaces or just like in walls. The flexible duct is the one that you can use pretty much straight off the dryer, so then you can move it back and forth when you need to clean it out or you need to unplug it or whatever. And so that's what I used it for. Now, the second thing is um, I moved the washer over, so now the washer and dryer are in the right place. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, whoa, that looks so different from what it used to be. And I haven't hooked up anything for the washer yet, so it's still just connected to garden hoses connected to the main lines that are right there. That'll be for another time in probably the next video, because I still need to do the water supply lines for this space, which I still need to pick up from Home Depot. Anyways, to not get off track, now is the time to work on the panel. I labeled everything, and I have a little chart that I made up for these breakers right here. So this is what the panel looks like now, and it looks fantastic. And the reason why these are labeled the way they are, because it's usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down. Actually, even on this side, you can see where it's supposed to be labeled as. So I got that done yesterday. I actually did it by myself because Ellie was busy and she wasn't home. And I just was like, I'd rather take this time to work on that. And then I could do other stuff when she does get home. But now, today, she's at work. And now I can turn off the whole house. And then I can be working on organizing the actual box. And then getting the wires fed in and hooked up and good to freaking go. And I'm so excited to be able to turn these freaking lights on. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, every time I want to do some sort of task, some sort of thing, it keeps going and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So with this job, what I wanted to do was have lights in this room that they work. In order for me to do that, I had to hook all the wires together and complete a circuit and hook the fixtures up and then the switches up. And then I have this wire that now needs to be connected to the panel. Well, the panel wasn't labeled, so I had to label it. And now I open it and it's just completely disorganized. So now I have to reorganize it. And then I have to then wire it up, hook it to the panel to make it work. But before I did that, I needed to move the dryer. And I thought, well, I might as well hook up the dryer to the actual outlet it needs to be so it's safe. And potentially even hook up the wiring for the washer. And then have that done so I don't have to do it again. So I don't know how long this is going to take, but I have pretty much all day to do it. It is currently 10:45, and Ellie comes home roughly around 4 to 6 o'clock. And I have all that time to work on this, and hopefully I can get it done and have a washer and dryer that I can use, because we need to do laundry and we need to do it for the past few days, but I kind of jumped the gun a little bit and took it all apart, and now I have to wire it, because I'm not going to rewire the dryer to then hook up to the previous outlet and have it all dangly and nasty. So I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to come back and I'm going to freaking try to get this done and finished. So, let's see. Before I show you the after, I gotta show you the before. And this is what it currently looks like, okay? So we got all of these wires just covering this little bus bar over here for the ground and neutral. And then you got some wires on here, and you got some loose wires that aren't connected to anything right there, and just a complete mess. And to be honest with you, doesn't look that great either. No wonder it looks so bad. It's really hard to do that. It's really hard to actually get a electrical panel kind of adjusted and organized. And I've spent multiple hours. It's currently 4 o'clock, I took actually probably like an hour and a half break to let the battery charge on the camera and to also just warm up the house since it got down to 65. And I went through and plugged everything back in and made sure that everything turned back on with nothing wrong. And the one thing that had happened is when I turned on this room, because I hooked it up, the light was on. But there was only one light that was on, one light fixture. It was this one. And so when I looked at the light switches, I flipped them on, and then both were on. And then I flipped both of them off or something like that, both of them on, and the breaker popped. So I don't know what I did wrong with the wiring, but I already checked the switches, and it's not the switches. So I have to take the light fixtures down and look at the wiring again. And for some reason, I think that's the problem. With that being said, one of the things that I got rid of is the 2 outlets that were just kind of hanging out below the box that weren't in, below the panel that weren't in its own box. That would be the dryer outlet and then the washer outlet. I took both of those out, and now I don't have an outlet for the washer. And I really should have thought about it a little bit more, but there's not a whole lot of room to play in that box anymore. And to be quite honest, I really don't want to mess with it anymore today. My fingers hurt. I actually cut myself earlier. I actually, at the very beginning of the wiring process, I cut myself with a wire, and I don't know how. Or one of the issues I came across when I was doing it was the fact that I can organize it as best as I can, but because all the wires are at a certain length and they're already they're going to certain breakers and then they go to the bus bar, it's extremely hard to get it all organized. But thankfully I got rid of a lot of unused wires. I'm actually shocked at how many wires. So I think there's 5 in total unused wires that were sitting in there. But honestly, it didn't really free up any space. I wish mine can look something like really, really professional, but I know it's not going to happen unless I rewire the whole house, which is not going to happen. I really, 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 really don't want to deal with the box anymore. And these lights, this all happened because I just wanted lights in this room. Because it's already dark enough outside where I need a light in here. And thankfully, my Ryobi light is enough for right now. But hopefully in the next clip, the lights will work. This video is so long. I have almost given up completely on this project, on this electrical. Because last night, so the lights didn't work. And what had happened was one would be on, and when you switch, if you press the switches, if either both were on or whatever, it would pop the breaker. And I didn't know what was going on. I checked the wiring, I checked the diagram, the wiring diagram, I checked the wiring, I checked everything. And then I looked at another, like a YouTube video of like an electrician showing how you can wire it. And it was just a little bit different from mine. So I redid the wiring, and it still didn't work. It was doing the same thing. So then I had pulled down the light fixtures 2 or 3 times by this point, or twice at that point. And I took it down one more time, and I said, I'm going to test to see if the 2 strands running to light were mixed. I had mixed them up from that light to that light. And what do you know? It was. So the problem just was fixed by me switching the strands, basically. What I labeled as 1 and 2 over here was 2 and 1 over here. So I just redid it. And as you can tell, the lights are now working, and I think they look great. I don't know if the light bulbs in this one will be bright enough for this area over here, but I am completely fine with the way it looks, and they're not perfect, and they're not going to stay up for forever, because I will have to take them down in order to do the ceiling, finishing the ceiling, and especially over here when it comes to the rest of this. But not only did I do that, I properly wired up the washer outlet. I was originally going to take a outlet and just wire it up from the panel and just leave it hanging off the panel with the cover off. But I thought to myself, Ryan, just do it right. Just do it right so you don't have to redo it, or you don't have to deal with, touching it or anything. Take the bad, dangerous outlets away and don't put them back. And what do you know? I didn't do that. I put a good GFCI outlet right here and the dryer outlet over there. And now the washer and dryer are completely ready to use. And I'm going to throw in a load of laundry right now. And I think today I will go up to Home Depot to get my order, which has been sitting there for probably about a week and a half now, so I need to go get it. But that should be it for today's video. For this whole video was literally just for the lights. And it took me like 4 or 5 days to actually get these lights fixed and done. And I am so happy that they're done. And I don't want to work on the wiring right now or for a while now because I'm tired of dealing with the wiring. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to smack the like button as hard as you can. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me a lot. And I will see you guys all next time.